For everyone listening too, if you don't follow us on Twitter, we went and finally launched a Discord for the COD Casuals, and we've been working on this for a while now, and we're glad to finally have it at the launch of this game. If you're listening and you haven't joined it yet, we're going to have it in the description below, so be sure to go and join that way or follow us on Twitter. We'll be posting the link all the time, so you can go join up that way. This is a new year. This is actually a good COD. People seem to be wanting to talk about it, and we want to talk with everybody that watches us and listens to us about it, so definitely make sure to join. It's insane how it's moved to that. And that moment there pissed me off so much. Like you type in Black Ops 7 and Call of Duty comes up. Just give me the game, the actual game that I want to play.
I just kept dying from it because the thing like doesn't have enough damage. I was getting ripped the whole time and I was getting pissed. I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening? I'm getting so many hit markers. And I was thinking about it, like, I haven't been upset like that. BO6, but I was never upset like that. The last time I was probably upset was when we were playing ranked in MW3.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 252 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. It was nice week. Well, actually, no, my weekend wasn't actually that good because I got a cold over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it. I recovered pretty quick. Probably the amount of Dayquil and NyQuil and just sleep I took, but yeah, it's any time. Like, I don't get sick that often. I'm usually due for one cold, and usually it's pretty bad. Like, I can still sort of feel it in my nose and like slightly congested, but man, it sucks when you get a cold and like you're sleeping and you're just like trying to breathe out of your nose. I'm just breathing out of my mouth and I can't take in any air.
A legitimate mouth breather.
Yeah,
Dude. It is. It's horrible. I always say when I get sick, I almost forget what it's like to not be sick. You know what I mean? Like right from the moment that happens and then I start mouth breathing and I'm sniffling every 5 seconds. Yeah, it's the absolute worst feeling. But I'm like you too. When I get sick, the minute that I feel, and I wonder if people feel this way too, but the minute that I know, like sometimes you swallow a certain way and you're like, yeah, it's not good. Like something's wrong there. I get my ass over to the store. I immediately get the NyQuil and the Dayquil, and I slam that stuff, like, responsibly, of course. But I I make sure that
every 6 hours.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, do I take the whole thing? Like, bro, I make sure that I'm on it with the medication, like right off the bit. You know, there's so many. Like my dad is one of these people. He refuses. Homie just raw dogs his colds. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want. He's like, it's bad for your liver. It's bad for you. I'm like, but then the guy's sick for 2 weeks. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't got time for that, man. Like, I'm like, we have this great invention called medicine, dude. You need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, like I was up. Oh, what day was it? I think it was Thursday night because I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. I just coughed randomly late at night. I was like, what the hell? Like that wasn't I was choking on air or something or drinking water.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then I went to bed immediately. Like I woke up the next day, like I could just feel it in my nose and like my body was just achy. I'm like, oh God, this sucks. Okay. I gotta take some Dayquil, wake up. And of course I got stuff that I have to do over the weekend.
Yeah.
And
always the worst.
It just sucked. But I do feel better now. So hopefully like by the end of this week, like it's completely gone.
Yeah, no, dude, you sound good. You don't sound sick at all, which is that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It's like I hate when I take that stuff and then it still is hanging around for like 4 or 5 days. I'm like, man, what do I got to do here? Like I start trying to look down the aisle. I'm like, maybe there's some sort of combo that I got to hit. You know, like I do that and then I do like a Zyrtec or I do like the orange tablets. I'm like, bro, the orange tablets is what's going to carry me to the end here. It's always a pain, but no, I do feel it. I had my one cold, knock on wood. I don't have anymore. Cause yeah, it's like you're always due for one cold during the year.
Yeah. I just rather get sick now than like during the holidays. If it was during the holidays and like time off and stuff, it would just suck.
Yeah. I gotta mention too, if people actually gave a damn about what I said last week, I'd let them know, bro, I did have school that day.
Yeah, you did.
Can you believe that, dog? Can you believe that? Bro, everybody at work was just like, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. They are smoking the finest stuff over there, man. I don't know how they didn't call it. Insane. Talk about the depression though. I wake up at like 4 a.m. just kind of randomly, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm sitting on my bed right there. I'm just like, let me check that email. Let me see that. Let me see that missed call. Nothing. I was like, say what now? I was like, let me give it some time. And then I
Yeah.
get up for 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay, it's ready to go. Let's see that. Nothing there. I'm like, you got it again. And I was just like hanging out. I'm like, bro, do I get ready? Like, there's no way, right? And then everybody there, I see people rolling in. I'm like, I can't believe it. Like again, man, we're in December. Like, I ain't gonna talk much about it, but I'm like, man, we have these days built in.
Mhm,
We have snow days built for a reason. And then when we
mhm.
get snow and they were all complaining that they canceled everything after school, I'm like, "Dog, why didn't you use the snow day?" Like, come on. It's like
Yeah.
that's the whole reason we got these here.
Yeah, you
Like
told me
that.
that morning, and I was working from home, but, like, down where I am, nothing. Like, it
Yeah,
rained.
dude.
But, I mean, like,
Well,
you're on, like, that belt, in the
yeah.
Northeast where you always get snow.
Well, it wasn't like to be fair, the real call was an early dismissal. That was for sure like the best call because
Mhm,
granted, like if they said no school, that would have been a little crazy because from right in the morning up until about 11 o'clock, there was no snow. But then from 11 to when we got out around 3:30 is when they get out. Oh, dude, it was bucketing snow.
mhm.
And, like, everybody was complaining about it. People didn't have jackets, or people are slipping in the snow, cars, buses struggling, and I'm just sitting here, I'm like, "Man, you could have made the call. You should have done something." It's almost in those situations where you're like, "Man, you hope." I mean, it sounds fucked up to say. You hope something happens where someone sues the school or complains to the school about it, so I'm like, "Yeah, maybe you should wake up." Like, use your brain here. And like, there's no problem if you take the day off, but if you have to go in like we did, you run a huge risk, you know? It's like
Mhm,
things could go wrong, buses, kids could fall, parents, whatever, all
mhm,
because you wanted to keep school just because of some snow, you know?
mhm,
Like you gotta make the move. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, just sit it out, forget it. We'll take the L on Tuesday. We won't bother about having school and no one's gonna complain about it, you
mhm.
know?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's like, especially for me, I have the option to work from home. Like, I'm hybrid. If it's really shitty weather outside, like bucketing rain or, there's a bunch of ice outside and, like, I'm supposed to be going in, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not risking my life to, like, drive to the
Right.
office when I can do the work now." So, that's the advantage of it, especially when you work around here. I
Yeah,
know you can't
exactly.
do that, but
Thank God I can't do that. If they were like, "We're gonna have online," I'm like, "No."
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely not. But, yeah, exactly, like, why take the risk? You know,
Mhm.
it's not worth it that much to go into the office, like, yeah, it could be better, but marginally so.
My
Compared
life
to
is
that
more
or
important.
getting into a car crash,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "You know what? I think I'm just gonna sit this one out, boss."
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't think I need it.
yeah.
But now, man, I have to go and I have to talk about this. This pissed me off. I told you a little bit about this. Switching to Call of Duty now since we did a whole intro. I texted you. Well, I think it was just yesterday that I talked about this, but this happened maybe on. I
It
think
was
no, it was on
whenever
Friday,
yeah, whenever
right?
the
Wasn't it
update
on
was.
Friday?
Thursday? Friday?
Yeah, it was right before the season one got dropped because we were gonna go play, and then we were crushed because it was like, massive update
Was it
that for
80
some reason my
80 gig?
PlayStation, which is in yeah, how much was it again?
I think it was 80.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, come on.
It was
Like,
huge, like, yeah, whatever the day I think it was Thursday, the update, and I went on, I'm like, "Oh, like, I'm just gonna go update it, whatever," and then I'll sign back on, like, 2 hours later. Dude, I looked at it, I'm like, "Yeah, there's no chance I'm signing on
yeah,
because the
no,
update
yeah,
was huge."
yeah. I mean, and to that point, my buddy, I was hanging with him yesterday, and he's like, he wants to get a PS3. He's like, dude, what you think, man? You think I should get the 60 or the 120 for gigs? And I'm like, think about that right now. We're talking about a whole console storage, bro.
Yeah.
And Black Ops 7's season 1 update is 80 gigs.
Mhm,
Like, it's ridiculous. But at any rate, couldn't play because of that. So then I go and, next day I'm like, "Okay, let me go hop on, play some games, get a little season 1." Dude, I go on there, Black Ops 7 ain't it, well, no, first off, let me before I even get to that, I couldn't even download season 1. It kept
Mhm,
giving me some error, and it would just give me this crazy code, and it wouldn't say anything about it. So, go download it, trying it, and it's just never downloading. Error, error all the time. So, then I try, there's this restore license button. Okay,
mhm,
let me hit that, see if that works. Doesn't work. And then I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to delete COD. So I go and I delete the game off my PlayStation, re-download it, put it in rest mode next day. Then it's like, what is that? It was Sunday. Yeah, Saturday I try all this, and then Sunday when I get back, I go on to COD. I go on there, bro. Black Ops 7 is not there. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And I go over to where the tab on there where it says it's got this weird intro, which I'm like, "Yo, they, like, totally redid this. What the fuck?" Like, "Is this a different intro to the game and everything?" Like, I'm not familiar with this.
mhm.
And I go on there, and it says Black Ops 7 purchase.
Oh,
Like I gotta buy it again.
mhm,
I'm like, "What?" And it's not the normal version, it's the Vault Edition, so I had to pay $30 for this, okay?
mhm.
And I'm tweaking the entire time, like, "There is no way. There's no way, like, how what are you talking about?" Like, I pre-ordered this game. I'm fucking I'm like, "Give me
Yeah.
hours I already got into it?" And I go on PlayStation Store, select version, trying to find Black Ops 7, it's not on there. MW2's on there, MW3, Cold War, Vanguard, all of them are on there into this stupid, which is my bitch about Call of Duty,
Mhm.
not Black Ops 7 in the PlayStation Store. It's all just Call of Duty. And then you see all the ones prior. You see, like, when I type in Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 comes up,
Mhm,
and like all the IW or Ghost comes up, World War II. And I couldn't do it. Just could not download this game. Couldn't find it anywhere, and I was bugging. I deleted all again. I go onto the PlayStation Store and to re-download it from there, and it's like, which version? Do you want to download Call of Duty Home, or do you want to play multiplayer first or play zombies? So I click multiplayer first.
mhm,
Then I go in there this morning,
mhm.
like at 6:20 in the morning or something, and it works. And it's finally gotten downloaded. Dude, why is this so complicated?
I
Why did they ever I will never understand, honest to God, why they got rid of Call of Duty being the new game that you download, and
Mhm,
now it's this hub where everything is Call of Duty, because I never really thought about it other than when we buy the game or pre-order the game, but in a situation like this, I mean, dude, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I'm no genius with tech, but dude, it's not that complicated.
mhm.
This I couldn't figure it out. You couldn't go through there and be like, "Oh yeah, Black Ops 7 multiplayer not installed. You want to install it?" No. It just brought me to the Black Cell season 1. Warzone wasn't even nothing was installed. You could just be at the main menu where it has all of the
All of it.
tabs pulled up.
Mhm.
Like that was it. I could click on Black Cell and it would tell me about the seasons pass, which they're like, "Hey, you want to buy it? Want to buy the battle pass?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Not right this second." I'm like, "Let me play the game first, dude." The craziest, one of the craziest experiences that I've had with this. I almost spent the 30. I almost did. Thank God I didn't,
Yeah.
bro.
No, definitely not. Because yeah, I did not have that problem. I went in the update was huge, but it downloaded, like, the campaign again or whatever, and I was like, "Alright, I guess, sure, just download everything." I don't even check anymore. I'm just like, "Just download everything." I I don't even know what I have.
How big's your hard drive? Didn't you upgrade it on that PS5?
Yeah, mine's 5 terabytes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
insane.
yeah, I'm just download because I was getting annoyed of deleting everything and, like, backing up stuff to the cloud. I'm like, "I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna" yeah, I have 5,000 gigs.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy that the PlayStation only has, what is it, 2 terabytes? Is that what it has, or is it a terabyte for like
Uh,
base model storage?
I think base model, it's just a terabyte.
Yeah, which is honestly not a lot,
It's not a lot for
considering,
games nowadays.
yeah, 825 gigs, but yeah, it's basically a terabyte. Um, yeah, dude, a lot of these games are just so massive on 1 terabyte PS5. Like, you can only have a handful of games there. When I had to go and
Mhm,
download the update for BO7, like, I only have 4 games downloaded, but the
Mhm.
problem is, like, one of the games is 85 gigs, and then the other one's 20, and then the other one I think is, like, like 10 gigs or something, but because Call of Duty is so massive,
Yeah.
and it needs all of that space, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mhm.
You have to have a massive hard drive upgrade like you've got in order to be playing multiple games. Like, why can't how could the PS2 have that memory card with all of those games downloaded,
Yeah.
and now on PS5, 20 something odd years later, I can only have at one time 2 or 3, like, AAA titles downloaded
Mhm.
at one time. Otherwise,
It's
there's just not enough space.
the the graphics and the metadata, dude. Like in these games, it's so much data. I remember back in the day, like when you bought an iPod or whatever, you're buying like 5 gigs, 10 gigs, 20 gigs was insane, and now you're buying like iPhones that are nearly a terabyte just because of all the data you have.
Yeah. It's insane how it's moved to that, and,
Mhm.
like, going back to the COD thing, I just that moment there pissed me off so much as to why this is just labeled like, you type in Black Ops 7 and Call of Duty comes up.
Mhm.
I'm like, "Bro, just give me the game." Like,
Yeah.
the actual game that I wanna play, you
Mhm.
know? And I couldn't do it. And again, I don't know why Call of Duty went to this. I would maybe just to assume that they wanna keep, things streamlined, and maybe if people wanna be playing Modern Warfare 3 on a random Tuesday, they can go and do that if they'd like. Um, but, like, who's really doing that?
Mhm.
Most people are
Well,
probably playing what? BO7 and BO6. Like,
yeah. Well, to that point though, even if you want to go play like MW2, MW3, you need it installed. So it doesn't matter.
right.
Um, I think it's more because of Warzone. Like, and it gives the devs an easier way to like, oh, we're gonna update one thing at the same time. Like, I don't know
Right.
how these updates work, but I'd imagine, all right, if we're gonna update zombies, Warzone, and Black Ops 7, like all within the same day, we can just push it to this one thing instead of pushing it to multiple different like applications.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Um, I mean, like again, I guess logistically, when it comes to stuff like that, and they're saying trying to streamline all of them so you could be playing multiple of these at the same time and not have to switch applications.
Mhm.
It makes sense for like just a user experience. But when it comes to the user experience that
Yeah, when
I
it's not
had,
working, yeah. I didn't have
yeah,
that problem. I
yeah,
signed
it's
on the next
insane.
day and it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it all stemmed from that, like, the fact that there was some random error that wasn't working with season 1,
Mhm,
um, but then it just uplifted this whole problem,
mhm,
and I was like, "Yo, this is ridiculous as to why you can't just go and download this." But now I go on there and I have to go through again because I don't have all the space. I have to go through on COD and delete the multi or delete the campaign,
yeah,
and then some of the other stuff that gets installed on there, like other games that I've kept on there. I have to
mhm,
go through and now like individually delete those so I
mhm,
can have some space for some of my other games. Because there's no reason like Black Ops 7 multiplayer should be, you know, pushing 300 gigs or something like that. It's insane.
yeah.
It doesn't need any of that.
You gotta upgrade your SSD and that thing. That was, like, the first purchase I made when I got my PS5. Like, I bought the PS5 and I bought an SSD immediately. Like, before I even, like, plugged the PS5 in, I swapped out the SSD.
Yeah, that's what I definitely need to do. I just need to think now about how I'm going to. I probably just do it with a USB, right? Transfer the data from my current SSD into the new one, you know,
Um, you
or
could
is it
just
all uploaded to the cloud?
you can back everything up to the cloud and then, you can change your settings. I can
Yeah,
let you know because
yeah.
it's,
I need
like,
to do that.
so much better. Because yeah, that what you're talking about, like, deleting stuff, that is the exact reason, like, on the PS4, I had to do that, like, 2 or 3 times, and I was like, "I'm not doing this anymore."
Yeah,
So when I went to the PS5, I researched the biggest SSD I could get.
yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of money, but it's gonna save me so much time, and I'm just not gonna have to worry about it, and it's worth it."
Oh, dude, I guarantee you, you probably don't even have Like, maybe you do have half of that storage used up.
I actually think I think I have like half of it
Yeah.
used up,
Like, that's
but
still insane.
yeah, it's a
Right,
lot.
but you have all of the game like, you have Assassin's Creeds on there right now too at the same time, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
have everything on it.
yeah, that's mental. Now, I definitely need to do that. It makes me think too with, like, when the PS6 comes out, bro, if they're over here like, "Yeah, we're starting with a 2 terabyte hard drive," I'm like, "Are you kidding me,
See,
bro?" It's
this
like
is the thing. Data, like storage itself it's gotten so cheap now, right? And I hate the companies that like yes, a terabyte is a lot of storage, but it's not nowadays with the amount of data that, you know, everyone uses and
Mhm.
saves. Like I hate that these companies are like, "Oh yeah, here's an extra 500 gigs. We're gonna charge you $1,000 more." I'm like, that is not equivalent anymore. Like Apple's notorious for this. Uh, love my Apple products, but dude, it is not worth going from 500 gigs and you're paying like an extra grand literally for like another 500 gigs to update to a terabyte. Like you're getting ripped off so bad. But some people like still buy it because I understand why. Because it's just so much easier if you buy everything outright. You don't need to tweak about like anything. It's just gonna work. Um,
Right.
but yeah, like with Sony, they bare minimum it should be a terabyte, and it should go all the way up to like 2 to 3 terabytes. But they're probably not gonna do that. But my worry is though is that when companies well, at least with Sony, I remember when the PS5 came out, there were rumors that you couldn't upgrade the storage internally. I'm like, no, that like if they do that, that's fucked because then you need that USB like plugged into an actual SSD, and which is fine, but then it takes up a slot, you know.
Right.
And in my opinion, I just like everything streamlined. I want to upgrade the internals to like what I want. So if Sony when the PS6 comes out and if you buy 2 terabytes and you can't upgrade it internally, I'll be pissed. Like that's awful. I hate when companies do that.
And I also gotta think too, I wonder when it's gonna be our time to, like, to move to PC
Mhm,
as the main thing. We've talked about this, like, maybe people who've been listening for a long time know, but, like, we've always been on console. I mean, since I've never owned a PC in my life. I've never PC gamed. Like I've only done it a couple of times, like at certain places, but I never owned one personally. Um, and you and I over the years, like probably over the decade now, have just talked about when we're gonna make that move.
mhm,
Um, and I don't know if the next gen console that might be the time for me to switch off of console and play on PC. I think I'll still own a console though because I love PlayStation. I want to support them,
mhm.
but um, like especially this whole thing with my issue with storage and everything, that just does not exist on PC. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
just that it's another level.
yeah,
And also like the games too, just as the quality gets better and stuff for PCs get better, the experience is going to be that much better on a PC than compared to a console.
mhm.
But it's always hard to make that initial investment, because I'm not going to be buying like, $1,000 PC. Like I want to go in and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we've been saying we were gonna get PCs for since we started the podcast, I would say.
Yeah.
But, like, you just hear so many problems about, like, like, I'm definitely still gonna own a console,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, a PC right now is just not on my priority list of, like, things
Yeah.
to have. Like, I just rather have other stuff, and there's so many games on PlayStation that I need to play still.
That's true.
I don't know when the time is. Like, I do want a PC mainly because like I want to build one. Like, I like all that stuff, and I definitely want to build one to like how I would like it. But um, you know, you need to build the right PC with the right specs for games that you want to play, right? And if we move to PC, that will definitely open up the window. The amount of co-op games we have, especially on Steam, it'd be insane. We'd have
Mhm.
so many more options, and we wouldn't have to, you know, wait around for an indie game to pop up on PlayStation. But there is something to say about playing like games on console still. It just works. But also too, like the price. If the PS6 comes out, that I don't know what they would price it at. If it's pushing like that grand mark or
Yeah.
definitely over a grand, really, really have to weigh out your options because you got to think about like how many games are going to be coming out, for the PS6. Like think about the PS5. Like how many games do you actually own on the PS5 that are PS5 games that are
Right.
made? And I feel like for me, it's dwindled ever since the PS3. Like I had so many games on PS3, and over the years, like I've gotten less and less games for that specific console that are worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the exclusives to the console has diminished a lot too. Like there's still, PlayStation still has a lot of good exclusives, especially
Mhm,
compared to Xbox, but um yeah, the amount of consistently good games, good quality games that are coming out that are built around the PS5 and are maximized on the console seems to be very few. I see a lot of games coming out, but when I see a lot of games coming out, it's always like they just seem kind of Mickey Mouse, they don't really seem all that great, but they're still charging $70.
mhm,
And when I compare to a lot of other games that are like the benchmark, even thinking back to like on the PS4 when Red Dead 2 came out, there's games on the PS5 that still don't even remotely compare to that.
mhm,
And I get part of it is like your focus and design and everything, but man, a lot of it comes down to effort. I'm like, dude, these guys put a massive amount of effort into that game on the PS4 and got way more out of it than most people probably or the developers could. But then when you see some of the games on the PS5 and they release, I'm just like, damn, really?
mhm,
Like, that's what you're going to put out on this console? And then you compare to seeing something like, Spider Man or the God of War games, like the newest one, Ragnarok on PS5. I'm like, man, that's kind of where the benchmark is for me with how a game should look and play and feel and all that.
mhm,
And there's a lot of games that just don't even come close to hitting that mark. And it's hard to justify, like, yeah, with the PS6, they come out. Okay, what's going to come out? Some like, three banger titles and then maybe just a bunch of mid stuff that could have been released on the PS5 or PS4.
mhm.
Like, it's a hard sell for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people are Sony had a hard time converting a lot of players from the PS4 to the PS5, mainly because of all the scalpers in the beginning.
Yeah.
But even now, right? Like that's one of your biggest efforts. Like, how do you get the people that already have the PS5 to go out and purchase a PS6? Like, what is the incentive there? When like you and I are already picky with games, we know we're gonna get the new Call of Duty. So let's say the life cycle of a console is like 6 to 7 years. That's 6 to 7 titles that we're buying at the minimum. And what that's like 420 to $480 we're spending in the span of 6 to 7 years at the minimum. Is
Yeah.
that worth it? Like for only that many games? And we'll probably buy like 2 to 5 more games a year. We don't know, but I feel like back in the day, it was you would get way more value because when you bought the console, there's just so many games that you're gonna end up buying. Nowadays, we're picky. Like the first game I bought on PS5 was Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. That came out like right when I got the PS5,
Yeah.
and that wasn't that long ago. And
Right.
from then, I can tell you I've bought all the Call of Duty since then, and like a handful of like other games. That's really it.
Yeah, I feel like I've bought less games on the PS5 than I have in previous years, no doubt.
Mhm,
And part of it too, yeah, is because I'm picky with games that I buy, but also too, like I look around and I see the games and there's really not a lot that get me excited.
mhm,
There's a handful of them that do. Like I mentioned, Ghost of Yote, the Spider-Man games, God of War, Ragnarok. Like when I saw those games come out, I'm like, oh yeah, like these are phenomenal games. And they played and they were great. But there are for those games, for every one of those games, there's like 20 other games that when you see them and I see like Video Game Donkey or someone on YouTube just roasting this game into oblivion
Mhm,
and pointing out all the flaws with it. And I'm like, man, you're charging the same price. You're charging $70 for that game. And Red Dead 2 was 60 and all the other games were 60 or $70. Like, you don't really have much to stand on. Like, I don't really see why I should buy your game.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, it makes it tough. And again, with the PS6, there's probably going to be even more of that. There's gonna and with AI too, it's just going to be more of this stuff coming along where people put out these games that just ain't worth the price.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's already rumors about the PS6, but we'll see when that time comes because then
Yeah,
we'll think about PCs, but also PC parts in general. Like they're so inflated right now too. Like if you
yeah,
want to build a decent PC, um, there's always some memes of like people you because we'll probably fall into this bucket too. The majority of the time, you build an insane PC and then you're using it to run like Minecraft
right,
or like an indie game like off
right.
off Steam, which that's facts. That's true. A lot of people do that. Um, but we could always justify it with the we're content creators. We're
Right,
having a
right.
PC would actually it would help us out a ton in terms of the content. There's more stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
Because right now people don't like we both have Macs. We run everything off of a Mac, and like it works, you know. But
But a PC would be a step up for sure, big time.
in terms of doing other stuff like if we ever wanted to stream, if we ever wanted, Max
The
wouldn't be able
one
to do all that stuff.
the one thing that I don't know if I wanna deal with for PC is playing COD though, because I
That
don't
is
wanna
the
go
thing.
into that cheater room. I
Yeah,
might buy
fuck that.
it. Yeah, you talk about a level of, bouginess, I might
Yeah,
buy the PS6 just to play Black Ops 8, like, that's what it'll be, you
yeah.
know?
The other thing is, like, I don't wanna be a mouse and key nerd. No offense to the
Yeah,
people with
yeah, yeah,
PCs,
yeah.
like, I don't wanna lose my dexterity
Right.
with the controller.
Like,
Because
dude,
I
my
know I
thumb
know
is
people
fucking
that are
shocked.
yeah, dude, I know people that have switched to mouse and key, and they go back to controller, and their dexterity is just gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, I didn't even think about that, but that's definitely true. You think about holding it like, going from this to this,
yeah,
you know?
you have two hands barely moving, and you have 2 different, like, actions. Like, each hand has its own action, whereas when you're holding a controller, your hands have to work cohesively together.
Yeah. We'd for sure still hook up the scuffs though. I'd have to.
Oh,
There's
well,
no
yeah,
there's no way.
when we're playing
Yeah.
COD, definitely. But, I mean, like,
Yeah.
if we were playing, like, some indie game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm,
I don't think I would like it as much. Like, thinking, like, playing It Takes Two, but playing with a mouse and key,
yeah.
you know
Well,
what I
it
mean?
like
Like, that
yeah.
kinda game?
It depends on the type of game, I guess, like, if we're playing, like, the Forest, for example, that's, like, one of the games that it was made on PC first, so it's easy to do, like, AWSD, move
Right,
around and stuff, but and then when that stuff gets ported over to, console, it's a bit different, because you can tell it was made for PC because the controls
right.
on, uh, a controller is way different than PC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So we'll have to factor that in, but
I don't know,
we'll see when the time comes for sure.
when
But
the time
I know for a
comes.
fact COD's always gonna be on controller, and
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
probably always be on console. I think it'll the minute that we're like, "Dude, we're playing COD on the PC. This is so sick. It looks so good." We play our first ranked game, and some guys just aimbotting us. I'm like, "Yep, time to go back to the PlayStation." It might
Yeah.
be that quick.
You guys gotta let us know how many of you are on PC, 'cause a lot of people we know are on PC. They don't even bother being on console.
Yeah.
So, let
No,
us
no doubt.
know. I'd be curious. I'd imagine the majority of people are on PC by now, but
Probably, yeah. We're the last holdouts on console, but it's because 'cause we're
yeah.
loyal. The brand loyalty is there
Yeah.
with us,
We're loyal, and we play other games too.
and
That's
I
like
vote
the
no
next
change.
level of bougie, like, buying a PC just to play COD.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But
that's insane.
yeah,
That's insane.
and you don't even take advantage of the full specs of it. That's the other thing with, the PS6 coming out, like, it's gonna be maxed out at a certain number of hertz, and you need a monitor that supports that, and on a PC, like, you can get way better resolution, way better hertz, but you need a monitor that supports that. But when you're playing COD competitively, like that shit doesn't matter. Like
Right.
obviously you want to play on 240 or higher or 366, whatever you can get. On PC, you can do that, but you're not playing on like, I mean, some people might be, but you're playing on a very like matte screen, not a glossy screen. You're playing on low settings so you can move faster. You're not playing on like a 4K, 8K monitor where you can see all the graphics and everything's beautiful
Yeah.
because you don't have an edge.
Right, right. Yeah, that would be the one big thing that would be fascinating about going to PC is just seeing the graphical jump. Of
Mhm,
course, you have to pay for that too. But to seeing like what would be capable of, like if I had one, on some games that I know, um, that would be crazy. It would probably be it would be very similar just from going like when we went from the 4 to the 5,
mhm,
playing COD, we're like, "Oh my god, dude, like this is insane."
mhm,
It would be probably the same thing going even to PC. Even for Call of Duty, it would still be a big jump. But
mhm.
yeah, COD wouldn't even begin to scratch the surface of what your PC is like actually capable of,
Yeah.
where
I
you really
think graphically, I think you'd be able to get that if you got a better monitor. Like
No, that's
my
true.
monitor's only 1080p, and that's
Yeah,
all I need. And like the
yeah,
thing is, the games still look good. Like even the single player games, if they look good on a 1080p monitor, imagine what they look like on a 4K monitor.
yeah.
Like even on console.
And
But
again, think about that too. PC, you gotta get the whole rig, but then if you wanna really take advantage, you gotta get a new monitor, you know?
yeah,
Like, you gotta get everything else that's with it, and that ain't
yeah,
cheap.
it. If you want everything all at once, which a lot of people do, they don't like to buy over time. They just all in. It's a very big investment up
Yeah,
front. Like monitors ain't cheap at all.
yeah. And to that point, like, no, like, I'm thinking about a PC at some point, but I'm thinking about it. Am I looking at websites? Hell no.
Yeah.
Like, we got time. But again, you said it earlier, and it is a fair point. It really depends on what the PS6 gets priced at. If it's still around that $500 mark, I'm like, take my money. We're going for this again.
Mhm,
But if they get up into like the 800, $900 realm, which I think would be insane, but if they did that and the specs were like solid but still not comparable, that's when you have to make that call.
mhm.
But
Yeah, and, like, that think about it, how many of you guys bought PCs and, like, you only play COD or, like, only play a specific game on it? I'm very curious about that because, like, a couple of my friends, they have PCs. They're not gamers, like, I play more games than them,
right.
you know? Like,
Right.
if you if you buy a PC just to play COD, that's, like, kinda insane to me.
Oh, dude, that's burning your money at that
Yeah.
level. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I mean, I
You know?
respect you being that serious into COD, but, like, you have all of Steam, like, there's so many games that you can be playing, um, and yeah, I don't know, I just wonder if people play other games on PC that specifically play COD. It's like the people that they buy consoles and they only play, like, Madden and 2K. That,
Yeah.
okay, I can sorta understand, but imagine buying a PC just to play one game.
Yeah, bro, that's like driving a Lambo to work and you live 5 minutes from work. And you said the car
Yeah,
was for the commute. It's like, bro, what?
yeah,
Like,
and
if you have the money,
I'm
get the
sure you
money.
know people
Do it.
that do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, again, like if you can swing that, then sure, go ahead. But it's like, why, dude? What not necessary, and like you're in something is in your hands that has way more potential than what you're giving it. It's like
Yeah.
it's very sad. It's
Yeah.
like almost buying Justin a $2,000 guitar for your
Yeah.
first guitar to start it. Very,
Yeah. Yeah. You have this beautiful rig,
yeah.
and it's just sitting there for
Yeah,
COD,
gathering dust. Like,
just for COD.
yeah, no, you don't need all that stuff, dude. People get that stuff because they think that if they get all that stuff, then they're gonna start playing like the pros and they're gonna be pulling off like moves like Shotzi and all these guys.
Mhm.
Like some people really do think that that is part of the equation. Like, dude, you got to have the best stuff. It's like,
Mhm.
brother, trust me. Those guys, if they give them a couple hours on your console and they're Kentucky frying your shit, like
Yeah, yeah.
PC has literally nothing to do with their ability.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, those 1v1 setups, at the majors, Scump's barely trying.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
He's like, if he's trying me, like, dude, I need to be at my own setup, my desk, my
Yeah.
monitor, my controller, in my slippers, like what I need, and then that's like my peak performance. I can
Yeah.
fry then. It's like when you go over a friend's house and like the setup's just not right. Everything's wrong.
They're playing on a 50-inch TV. You're like,
Yeah,
"What
yeah.
the fuck?"
And they're like, "Dude, I thought you were good." I'm like, "I am, I promise,
Yeah.
but
Like, "Dude,
in my setup."
you handed me a standard DualShock, bro. This ain't
Yeah.
happening."
Yeah.
No,
Um,
it's definitely true, though.
but yeah, like, speaking of COD though,
Mm.
season 1, uh, there was a lot of stuff that came out of season 1. The one thing I did wanna point out, um, you know how every season they do, like, a cutscene of introducing season 1 and whatnot?
Yep.
This, like, actually pissed me off, like, have you've played it, right?
Yep.
So, opening cutscene, uh, it is right after the ending of the campaign, and Kagan, the antagonist, she comes out of the water, blah, 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 she's, like, almost drowned. We didn't know if she died or not, and Mason comes along and does one, I guess, like, the new villain of the season, like, comes in and straight up just kills Kagan, like, just shoots her in the head,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "You just built up this villain just to die immediately, okay?" And in the season release, like, not even in the campaign or anything, and then, he brings Mason to this new, uh, area. It was called, like, Project Synapse or something like that, and it's essentially, like, the new map, and this is, like, the new storyline that they're gonna go. I do not that it pissed me off actually that they just killed Kagan like that because she
Yeah, me
was
too.
an antagonist, like, the main antagonist. Granted, we didn't see much of her in the campaign, but, like, why even create that character if you're just gonna kill her? Like, it makes
Right.
no sense, but I was reading some articles and some people were like, they're pissed too, but they're like, it might have been a fake out. I'm like, what do you mean a fake out? She got shot in the head. There's no
No,
chance.
you know what it is? It's like that guy from, MW2 or MW3. What was the guy's name when the tank blew up and he's like, "I
Oh,
wasn't in that tank." Wasn't with a
oh,
H? What his
what
name
was his
begin with an
name?
H?
I know who you're talking about. I can picture him. The American
Ah,
guy.
yeah, well, I can't remember his name. Hold on, I gotta see if MW2 character dies in tank. Let me
uh, while you look that up,
Graves.
Graves. Yeah, yeah. I just don't
It's
like
one of those
why.
situations,
Why are
like,
you gonna
oh, bro,
build a
he ain't dead.
character up and then just eliminate them and whatever? So that was season one, like right off season one. I'm like, all right,
We're
whatever.
off to a bad
Usually,
start.
yeah, usually I skip that stuff and I just don't like how they're doing this storyline. It doesn't make sense. But
Horrible.
multiplayer, great. Like the new map, Utopia that came out. I played it like a couple of times. I really like it. It reminds me of Raid and Six Star from MW3. It's like a mix of that, and it
Yeah.
feels really good, which is a good sign because all the other maps in Black Ops 7 are pretty good as well. So I don't know. Season 1 seems pretty good. They also added Standoff. Standoff has been fun playing. Um, and they added the new zombies map. It's like Astro something. I don't know the name of the map, but that's something that you and I need to try
Yeah,
because they're
Astra Malorum.
yeah. I've heard that map is like really fun. And
Yeah.
don't know what the Easter egg is, but we got to try it.
Yeah, definitely we do. I mean, zombies, like we said before, looks really, really good. So we just need to jump into it. But yeah, season one, like from what they've put out map wise, and overall content, it was a success. Which wasn't really much of a surprise from like what we got from the description or just shown from the the roadmap.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, they didn't obviously in those things, they never really give you any hint as to what's going on in the story wise. Um I think that's so lame. Yeah, I remember seeing that and I was just like, "Bro, what?" Like, I was kinda just numb to it because, frankly, I didn't give a damn about her.
Mhm.
And it clearly shows that Raven, right? Because I'm assuming they're well, it must have
Yeah.
been them, right? They're the ones who did that whole thing with the campaign. They clearly didn't give a damn about her either because they didn't want to develop her for 5 seconds, and
Yeah.
they saw all the hate, so they're like, you know what? Let's just kill this woman off. Like,
Yeah.
let's start fresh and let's do something else. Which watch them all of a sudden turn this new character that they got. Watch them have him become like a relatively solid antagonist. Um, yeah, that whole cutscene is just really strange. I don't like how they continue these campaigns past the campaign. Like, the initial story there. I think it's weird when they have them in these seasons and you can only watch this cutscene as far as I know. You can only watch it that one time and it doesn't really have much relevance until season 2. Then
Mhm.
season 2, we're gonna get the next cutscene, etc. Like, who's waiting on the edge of their seat, being like, "Oh, I can't wait till the season 2 cutscene. Like, I want to see what happens with like, who
That's the thing.
cares?"
I don't think anyone cares because,
No,
like,
I don't think any of
this
that.
is a whole introduction to, like, the new Warzone map, and apparently that new map is a lot of fun. People are enjoying it, which, I mean, that's a good sign. I also think part of it too is because it's a new map, it's fresh, people are liking it, but, I guess if Warzone's doing well, that's good too, you know? Uh,
Yeah, I mean that's their main thing, right?
yeah, so we won't talk too much about that, but multiplayer, on the other hand, it's been good. Like the maps that they added are good. The Maddox got added, and I've been seeing everyone use this thing.
I
I've been
have too.
picking it
I
up.
haven't used it yet.
It's good. Like I don't have it,
Yeah.
but I've picked it up. Like it's
Okay.
good. It feels like the Maddox from BO4, which I like.
Oh hell yeah.
Um, I don't know if well, I don't think it's better than the M15. It's definitely not, but it is better than I would say the subs. Like I've gotten cooked from that thing, and I like it a lot. I haven't unlocked it yet. Once I unlock it, I'm definitely gonna try to use it. I'm like slowly trying to get camos. I haven't committed to it. I'm kind of just doing it to try out like the other weapons. But like if I'm close to getting a camo, I'm like, oh, I'll go for it. Um, some someone in our Discord, shout out Jordan. This guy has been going ham with all the got everything
Yeah,
and
bro.
got
He's
singularity. Like it's
insane.
insane. But I will say the camos this year, like they look really good. Like singularity looks insane. Um, and it kind of makes me want to go for it, but there I just don't want to use some of the weapons and some of the challenges. That's a problem, but I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with multiplayer in this, and I think I'm starting to get a hang of it. I'm not at my best yet, but I feel like I'm falling into a rhythm with this game right now. And I'm not even using the M15 or the Dravik. I haven't even touched the Dravik like in
Yeah.
a hot minute. I've been using like all the other weapons.
Yeah, I don't have the M15 is the only gun I think right now, like in my custom classes, that I don't have at max level.
Mhm.
Like I really sparingly use that gun. I really just use the M8 and then I use the Dravik. Those are my main guns. I try to use some of the other subs, but like the Dravik is the main one, and then I always forget I think it's not the burst one. It's one of the earlier ones that you get. The Raiden, I think it's Raiden 45. I think that's the name of it. I like that one a
I
lot.
think that one's a burst.
Is it?
I think that one's a burst because I'm using the burst right now to
Okay.
level
There's
up.
there's one of the earlier ones that
Yeah.
I forget the name, I get it mixed up. And I like those 2 subs a lot. And we said it before with the patch, like, just hoping that the subs get a little bit of a boost here so they're not so bad. But to your point, I did notice that when I played, I didn't get anywhere near as much time as I need to really get an idea of season 1, but the few games that I played, yeah, it was M15s and then it was Maddoxes were back, you know?
Mhm.
Like I didn't see I didn't see as much just straight M15s, but it's still kind of a mix as to the guns that people are using. But I'm glad that the Maddox is like a good gun, but it's not completely broken.
Mhm.
My question is if we're gonna see that gun in competitive, or if they're gonna just GA it right off the rip. I
Mhm.
would like to see that gun in there, just as another weapon. Hopefully, it can balance out the meta, or just create a more interesting meta with having a third gun in there. Um, but I really don't know. Um, but from what I've seen and like going on Twitter too, seeing people talking about it, um, there hasn't been a lot of people talking bad about the season one. And honestly, like it's kind of hard to talk bad about what they've put in there. Like they've really just put in a bunch of good maps, like, the standard maps that we usually get that are new ones. And then they brought in some of the remasters. Like, and we already know from this game so far, like they've been doing a good job with the new maps. The map that I went and played was that Fate map,
Mhm.
which was good. I didn't get to play Utopia, but
Utopia's fun. I
yeah,
hope
I
they
want
add
to
that
go
into
and
competitive.
yeah, I want to try all the other maps. I mean, I will, of course, but just to see for myself how good they are. But again, the general consensus from what's been put out so far is that it is good. Um, which again, dude, it's just so nice to see it. Like right at the beginning of the season, we're like, we're happy with the game. It's moving
Mhm.
in the right direction. So yeah, I tip my hat to Treyarch. They definitely were successful with this. They've been listening. They put out good stuff that people want. Nothing really that controversial other than that stupid cutscene, but that's Raven. Raven just needs to step
Raven.
aside.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Guys, work on another game. We
Yeah.
don't need you in this."
Yeah. I don't this game's just so refreshing. Like, I can go on and just play by myself, and I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, it's the
it's
best.
just the multiplayer is fun. Like, I know you haven't tried the other weapons, but dude, like, usually I try out the other weapons because I need to throw in like some variety, um, so I don't get bored. But like, I enjoy using all the other weapons for the most part. Um, I've only touched the A. I've touched all ARs, all the subs, the LMGs, and the marksman rifles. Like, I enjoy it, and I've learned that if I'm like getting mad and like freaking out when I'm dying or something, because of a weapon that I'm using, it's probably because I care, which it is true.
Mhm.
And like I was dying from I was using the Ripon whatever, the 3 burst sub,
Okay.
and like I just kept dying from it because the thing like doesn't have enough damage like mid range, obviously. But I was getting ripped the whole time, and I was getting pissed. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck is happening?" Like, I'm getting so many hit markers, and I was thinking about it, like, I haven't been, like, upset like that. Like, BO6, I was never upset like that.
Yeah.
Like, the last time I was probably upset was when we were playing, like, ranked in MW3, but, like, we're playing ranked, um, which makes me feel good about this game. And, like, dude, the guns are good. Like, I have, the Maverick, the 3-round burst AR, that thing rips. I almost dropped a nuke with that thing.
That thing is
It's
insane.
so good. And then
Yeah.
the Peacekeeper, I found, like, I got a setup that it makes it so good. Like,
Okay.
so, so good. And I'm just having fun overall again. It feels so good. Like, I wanna hop on. I'm like, "Wow, I wanna play."
Yeah, it's definitely it's a new experience from what we've had,
It's been a
for the
while.
past couple yeah, it's been a while since we had it. Now I like, you know, I do go and try some of the other guns, granted, I'm not, as into the variety as you are, but I will say when I go and pick up people's guns sometimes when, on the occasion that I'm streaking, like I'll pick up an LMG and then I do decent with it. I'm like, damn, this thing's like actually nice. Like what the like I enjoy using it. It's not like it's, a pain and I gotta change or anything. It's just a good gun.
Mhm,
Which I love having guns that for the most part are not just complete throwaways. And I think that's what I tend to find myself in where I find the guns that are good and everything else to me, I'm like, oh yeah, they all just pale in comparison and I
mhm,
can't do well with them. Whereas in this game where I've played around with a lot of the other ARs, some of the subs I'm trying to, get into, like I need to try that burst gun again. Cause I remember I played it once with you and I was like, hell no. This is just,
Yeah.
I was getting shredded.
Mhm,
Um, but part of it, you just got to sit them out and try it, and like play a couple of games with it, get some attachments, and like get that one, two, or three piece with the gun that makes you build the confidence. And you're like,
mhm,
okay, this gun's not bad. Like I can, I can still shoot with it. And then from there, you should be good to go.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, the guns in this game, it seems to be from like not as much as you, but the little that I've used, all the guns are pretty solid,
mhm.
minus some of those subs. You just need that, just lower the recoil. You do that, and
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had some insane clips in the past, like, couple of days from just random subs. Like
Yeah.
and funny enough, all the nukes I've ever dropped for the most part in like previous CODs, it wasn't from like the meta weapon. It's all from like trying out some random ass class that I'm like, oh, I'm trying to level up this weapon and I'm trying to get it gold. And like I randomly drop a nuke with it.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know why. I think it's just because anytime I'm using the meta weapons in my head, I'm thinking competitive. I'm like, oh, I'm not like trying to go for a nuke necessarily. I'm not really trying to go for a nuke in general when I'm just leveling up a random weapon. But when I feel like I go on my longest streaks when I'm trying to level up weapons for whatever reason. Like I hit this
Yeah.
flow state and I get some insane kills with some of them, not gonna lie. Like there's a marksman rifle that's like a long revolver. And this thing, it's kind of awful in the beginning, but this thing just one shots you completely. Like if you center immediately, it's insane. Like I was hitting like cross shot maps, um, and like straight to the head. It was
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, dude. When you have, I think when you have a gun like that, though, like inferior gun, there's like no pressure on you.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know,
That's a big part of it. Yeah,
yeah,
just
you if you die, like, and you're using an LMG and you're on, like, a 15, you're like, "Well, yeah, I'm using an LMG, like, of course. Like, why would I get anything better than that?" And then after a while, like, it's still the nerves always hit when you get, like,
close.
the
Yeah,
ruthless or the brutal, and then you're like, "Oh, dude, I could
yeah.
actually do this," you know? But for the most part, yeah, I agree with you. You're not in that competitive, like, "Oh, dude, I'm using the Dravik, like, I should be frying with this gun." You're of the mindset, "Oh, I'm using a marksman rifle, like, I'm probably not gonna do that well." And then you start
Mhm,
just doing well and you're like, all right, let's just keep it going here. And you kind of stay in that mindset for like most of the time.
mhm,
Um, I've had a couple of those too where like you turn on them and I just laser someone off a heady
mhm.
and I'm playing, I'm like,
Yeah,
I was like, bro, that aim assist gods came to me that time right there. Um, those are like the best moments. And I feel like I have a lot of those on this game. I don't know if it's just because maybe I'm getting lucky with those or again, putting in the time and like really understanding how the game plays. You're just, feeling good on it. And you can pull
mhm,
off stuff like that. Um, yeah, there's a real desire for me with this game to be good at it. Um, and I love playing the game and particularly too, like off this weekend. I love watching the game. Um, and having that combo for Call of Duty is we haven't had that in a long time. So having it where I watch the game and I love seeing what's going on and learning new stuff and then playing it and it not being a completely different game or being a disaster is definitely a breath of fresh air.
yeah, and just wait until ranked comes out because then it's
I
we got
know.
all 3. We got pause, we got ranked, and we got the CDL going on, and everything's gonna be good. And like
Yeah.
we had our first weekend of CDL matches, and um, I mean, we can start out with Optic. Not much to say. They look the same. They look really good. uh, they dropped one map the entire weekend against Rucker,
Mhm.
and they look insane. Merc is murking everyone. Like I don't know. I forget who said it, but someone was like, "This guy's the new king of this generation, uh, the new Scump." Which I don't think you should compare anyone to Scump because he's like just in a different league. But Merc is coming into this league, and I'm seeing it as like when Simp came into Blackouts 4, it's like that kind of takeover. And if I wouldn't be surprised if Optic wins champs again this season because one based on how they're playing, but when Simp came into Blackouts 4, like he was that guy. Like he was destroying everyone. And I have the same feeling with Merc coming into the season. It's just insane.
Yeah, he's pretty untouchable right now. And that whole team in general, it's we haven't seen it this year. Grant, yeah, of course, I know no shit the year just started, but I don't think we've seen really throughout the time this team's been together where one of those guys is just, or no, where they're all struggling. where
Mhm.
they're all just can't put it together. We've seen, some of these maps where like Shotzi maybe has a bad map, like in that first map that we're talking about with Rocker. Yeah, he didn't play that good, but then the other guys were still doing solid. And then in the other maps, like they all kick up. Like my point kind of being is that they all tend to be like they're not screwed if one guy isn't doing well. You know, all these guys seem to be on this game, and Hook in particular doing really, really well on and have adapted to it. And as a team, I mean, they just again they seem to be getting better and better, which is concerning because I do agree. It would not surprise me in the slightest, and I don't think anybody else that they could easily, not easily, they could win champs again this year, just in the form that they're looking now. Like it is very early, but from this first weekend, we already know the top teams from the years. And who's going to be, more than likely fighting for Sundays and who's going to be winning championships. Like, you mentioned Optic, they're doing really, really well. Thieves, of course, are doing really well. Like they're looking great. They played Vegas. They 3-0'd them. It was a deceptive 3-0. Like it was very close.
Mhm.
Gentlemates look really, really good. Um, and I on it, it's probably what it's got to be those three or those four, right? It's got to be Optic, Gentlemates, Vegas, or Phase Vegas, and Thieves. Those teams, of course, I think are going to be winning all of the championships this year. I don't see any other teams um, really pushing them that hard because they do seem kind of in a league of their own. Um, I need to see some other like middle tier teams play those teams to see how they do.
Mhm.
Um, but I think, like most years in most sports, there is a clear line between the teams that are the best and then everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, and I will say though, it is early in the league, and those top teams are always the top teams in the beginning of the year for good reason because of the players on that team. But we have to see the teams that like all the teams will eventually catch up. Like those top teams are always the first teams that look insane on every single game because they just learn the game a lot faster than a lot of the other teams. Um, I am curious to see like Koi because having Real and Joe Deceives as like a duo together seems nuts. Like those guys are just gonna fly around, and like Kleenex is still there too. It's not like he is a very slow player. And Insight kind of looks like Cold War Insight again,
Mhm.
and I don't know. There's a lot of competition, but I think Optic, Thieves, and Phase, they're just always the teams that they get ahead in the beginning, and then eventually other teams will catch up. Right now, it's still still early in the game. Obviously, it's just week one, but I think we all can say like right now those are the main teams, and we can also say the teams that are struggling like really really hard, like the Falcons. That team just can't put it together right now, and it's very very clear. Granted, it is they played Optic and then they play Thieves. So tough matchup, like
They
back to
did
back.
take a map though, Justin, on Thieves. They did beat
Yeah,
them at
they
a
did.
hard point, which that
Uh,
was unbelievable.
yeah, I just like those are just tough goes for like any team. Like, granted, I don't think they're playing well together, but I would like to see the Falcons play, the rest of the teams, like where they stack up, especially against like Toronto or Miami. Um, though, those teams. And even like Cloud9, like they look really good too. With Kremp is frying another former Boston pro. But also Boston too. Like Boston looked really good. Like Cammy low key looks like he's Cold War Cammy again. And they played who'd they play map one or their first game? Was it
Boston, they played
Minnesota?
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Carolina. Then they played Rocker. Oh, G2, like their next match. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they played Carolina. I
Or
expected
they
them
play
to.
them so they play them next week. Yeah, they
Oh,
play
next
them
week.
on the
Okay.
12th. Yeah.
Who'd they? Yeah, they played Carolina. I expected them to win that. I thought Carolina just has new players. But I will say the Snoopy on Colossus. Like I don't know if you watched that first map.
Oh, dude, he was insane.
He was 1 in 10, and he finished
Yeah,
positive, and they
yeah.
won, and they were getting outgunned, and they won purely off of like rotations and winning the right gunfights, um, which makes me excited because I think this game suits the fast players like Snoopy. I think it will benefit him a lot, and I think he's learned throughout the couple of years like how to play the game better. And I think with the addition to with Nasty, like Nasty popped off that game, and I think adding him hopefully will help with the consistency of this team. Where I think right now in the rankings, it's you know I think they're
We're
third right
third
now.
place,
Yeah, we're
baby.
third place, dude. They look great, but again, well, we need to see more, and I want to see them. I want to see them play against Vegas, LAT, and Optic because I feel like Boston's one of those teams where they can hang against those top teams, but they just make a few mistakes, and when you make mistakes against those teams, you're screwed. So I hope adding Nasty will help with the consistency of that, because dude, if Boston's up in that fourth spot, like that's fantastic, and knowing that they could beat those other top three teams, given like the right circumstances, and they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's the big question is for some of those teams that are on the cusp, like Boston for sure, how are they going to be able to do against the top teams that we just mentioned, you know? And I don't know. I mean, only time will tell as to how they do. They do look really good. They look like they're definitely some of the better, teams that are going to be in the middle, like them. Of course, Miami people want to watch and Koi. Um, when those 3 teams end up matching up against an Optic, FaZe, Thieves, Paris, then we'll kinda get an idea of, okay, is Boston are they taking any maps on any of these teams, or are they just getting 3-0 and that's it? Like, okay, they're gonna be hard stuck in 4th place, like, 4 through 6. Um, but I don't know. They definitely made an improvement having Nasty on the team as compared to Awakening. Like you said, the consistency factor that Nasty brings, and also to just his role and his play style. It definitely seems to have benefited the team quite a bit. And plus, I think those guys like Snoopy, I think him like Shotzi and Hook, those guys just do really well in this game. Like
Mhm.
they just are. I don't know. The game seems to be fitting their play style more.
The
Um,
movement.
yeah, exactly. The whole
Yeah.
movement and just the way of the game in general seems to be aiding them more than hurting them. And if Boston, I don't, you don't want to just lock them out and say they can get only top 4, but if that's where they're going to be, man, that's a huge strides from last year, And who's to say that during some of these majors that they can't go and make it to a Sunday? Um, if they're somewhere, on Saturday making Sundays, that's going to be really, really good for them. Um, do I think that they're going to be winning championships? No, I don't think so. I think the gap is still massive compared to those teams.
Mhm.
You have to be realistic, but to say that they can't go and steal a match or two off these guys throughout the year and do really, really well, and get some good prize money and good placings, absolutely they can do that. They can finally be competitive, which is a far cry from what we've had in the past couple of years where it's
Yeah.
like, Thursday rolls around and I'm like, here we go.
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
Boston's in winners, they lose. Okay, let's go to Friday. They lose. You're like, yep, there we go. Double first round is like
Yeah.
I think Boston's past that.
Yeah, if they can make it to Sunday, I mean, if any team can make it to Sunday, that's a big win because the I'm not gonna say the league is top heavy. Like Optic, Thieves, and FaZe are just always at the top, right? Like those players are there for a reason. Um, I just and like I guess right now, like Gentlemaids is that team that's in that third, fourth spot. Uh, but I don't want that. I want what happened last year with Surge. I want a team that was put together that, people did not expect at all to be in that like third, fourth spot. Um, not gonna say that Gentlemates is that team because dude, you're looking at Envoy, Ghosty, Neptune, and Civ. You're telling me those guys are the same equivalent to Snoopy, Snoopy, Nasty, Cammy, and Purge. Like that
Yeah, no.
Not at all. Like on paper, you're gonna pick Gentlemates,
Yeah, of course, of
and
course.
then with that Surge team, like no one expected that. No one expected that team to be like finishing finals that many times.
No, not at all. People didn't expect that, and the fact that they were still able to do it and kind of come out of nowhere, proved everybody wrong. I mean, backtracking when I said, yeah, Boston couldn't do it. It's still so early to say
Mhm.
as to what's going to happen. I think we'll have a better idea of once they go on land for Major One and we really see how these guys end up doing. Um, and kind of, figuring out where everybody's at because I think a lot of it too is with some of these new teams at the top, and just, teams in general. I think they're still trying to figure out, how to play the game as a
Yeah,
team.
it definitely is. It's only
Um,
week 1.
yeah,
Eh
like there's no teams here, nobody has hit their peak, not even remotely close.
Mhm.
So when people do power rankings and say like, oh yeah, FaZe sucks right now, like, they're not good with 04 and Abuza, like you're smoking crack, man. Like they're still a good team, no
Mhm.
doubt. They're not even close to being where they're gonna be by the time Major One comes around, and especially too when we get to Major Two and Three, like they're gonna be a far, far better team. Um, and Nasty, he was Silver Surfing all last year. That's higher than pretty much. He's got more second places than anybody on Boston does.
Yeah.
The guy he knows how to at least kind of get up there. I hope he keeps his play up, and yeah, if he could bring those guys up there, man, I mean that would be unbelievable.
Mhm.
It would not surprise me to that point that if Optic or if Boston does end up making some moves, during certain majors and beats teams like an Optic or beats a Phase or Thieves when they have a bad weekend, um, that wouldn't shock me if you told me that was gonna happen. But to consistently be up there in the top 4, um, we have to see because they
Yeah.
they gotta play those teams, and then we gotta see. If they're taking Phase to a map 5, I might feel pretty good, but if they're getting 3-0'd by all the top teams, you gotta
Yeah.
call it like it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying then. It's week 1. We don't know.
Yeah,
Like, all we can say is that Optic looks great right now, and, like, the other teams, Optic's just a clear favorite right now, right? Like, they just learn the game faster than every other team.
yeah,
And it's just so early in the season to, like, really tell. I mean, like, dude, Miami has had, like, 2 weeks of practice in the States.
yeah,
They're shit. Like, they they haven't had real competitive practice because they haven't been here yet. Um, and then I think that's gonna lead into major 1. Like, the first major is always a major. Yes, the team that wins that major deserves it, but, like, it's usually the team that learns it faster, you know?
right.
Um, and Optic is I think they're the clear favorite going into their own major, and they understand how to play hard points, they understand how to play these searches, and they definitely understand how to play overload. Like, the different strategies that they're working with, they look really good. Um, I'm just very curious to see where those other teams, like, fall. Obviously, every team should be shooting for first or, like, top 3, but like you said, if you place top 6 among these other teams that are, like, clear favorites right now, that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really complain about it. I would say the only team that is probably screwed for Major One and for this whole split is Surge. I don't think Surge is going to go anywhere. I don't
Mhm.
think they're really going to make that much of improvement. I think they're going to be surfing at the bottom of the the bottom of the standings for most of the year. Could be wrong, but I have a feeling based off what we've seen and the teams that they're up against and the caliber, I think it's going to be pretty tough. Falcons, uh, same thing. I'd put Falcons down there, but um, I have way more faith in Falcons, not trying to be corny, rising up and
Mhm.
like maybe being something throughout the year, like, getting some top sixes and stuff like that. They definitely have the talent. Like talent isn't an issue with that team. Um, it's just seeing if they can all get on the same page and actually click. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but like we were talking about here, because I went and messaged in the Discord, which if you're not in there, be sure to join. This guy, it's Dano. That was his question. He was talking all about that. He says, I'm curious to know after your first weekend, your predictions or who we'll see on Sunday during the first major. There you go. That's what it is. I think Optic is going to win it. Um, but it would not surprise me if Thieves won it.
Mhm.
It would surprise me if FaZe won it, and it would surprise me if Gentlemates won it. So
Yeah.
I'd put Optic most likely, Thieves second, Gentlemates third, FaZe fourth. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where most people are at. Selfishly too, I wanna see Optic win a major while we're there live at their home major.
Hell yeah.
Um, and I think this game just suits, like, Hook and Shotzzy. The for not just them, but, like, any of those fast, like, movement players. This game's just
Big time.
perfect for them. And those teams just will always have an edge. So, um, yeah, I think it's very clear that Optic's ahead than
Yeah.
the majority of these teams, but it is still week 1, and we just don't know, what people, how these other teams, like, stack up. Because even when we were watching, when, G2 play, like, against C9, like,
They didn't look that bad.
they don't look that bad, but that's the thing. Did they not look that bad because 'cause they're 2 teams that are, like, close to each other? Or is it because they're, like, actually really good? Because, dude, Krep was frying. Like, of course, we lose him, but I'm happy with the squad that we have. But
Right.
all the guys that have left Boston have been pretty, successful in their
This
own
is our
way.
problem.
Yeah. And then Mac, when I was watching that, dude, Mac was frying. Dude, he was carrying his team the entire time.
Yeah, that's a really interesting team because he's on there, and then what? It's Estoril and or
Uh,
Skies.
Skies and Afro.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, wait, Afro's on there. Is he?
Yeah,
Who?
yeah,
Wait, who's on that team then?
I'm pretty sure he's with Mac.
Am I blackout right now? Then who's on that G2 team?
I'm pretty sure it's him. I just watched them.
Oh wait, no, it's Estoril, Kremp, Skies, and Mamba.
Oh, Mamba, okay.
That's who
I
it
mixed
is.
it up
Yeah.
then.
Nah, you're good. I yeah, mom, because I'm not familiar enough with that name. Some of these guys that come in and they're new, like him or Lurks,
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
people that I'm like, bro, I need to get my brain into now knowing that name. Because I'm like, who knows? He might be here for a little bit, but I don't know. This could
Mhm.
be like a one and done year for him. But some of these new players, I'm like, okay, I need to remember that these guys are they're not on like random like trash teams. Like they're with other solid players, you know?
Yeah.
But
And who's
yeah, I
Mac
think it's
is
gonna be yeah, well, no, Mac.
who's Mac with
Is
then? It was Mac.
bro,
I swear to God,
let me,
how am I forgetting?
Cloud9.
Yeah.
He's on Cloud9, and Cloud9's team right now shows how much we were paying attention, bro.
Bro, yeah.
Cloud9
I
Cloud9
just
is
know those.
Afro, Beans, Mac, and Vivid.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That
That's that
the
team.
yeah,
It's those colors, man.
dude. Kremp and, Mac were the 2 guys that I was just watching the whole time because they were literally 1v1ing the entire series. They were, like,
Yeah.
carrying their teams, and also I placed bets on all of them, and, like, they just kept hitting. Like, those 2
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, you
And
love
then,
those guys.
they just always fry. And, Vivid had a tough go. He dropped a donut in the last, S&D. Happens.
What
It's
are you gonna
alright.
it happens.
It
But
happens.
yeah, to your point though, like those mid teams where, on paper, that's not a bad team looking at them. Yeah, it's just going to be a question of when they face up against teams that are maybe in the next tier. Like,
Mhm,
how do they do against Boston? Does
mhm,
Boston wipe the floor with them? Because if it does, then I'm like, oh, great. Like we're ahead of those guys, no doubt.
mhm.
And there's a line that's kind of drawn there as to where we stand. But I do hope that it's not another year of like what we've seen before with Boston where they're just so
So
close.
close. Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
they can't get their neck over the bar. I'm like,
Mhm.
come on, guys.
Yeah.
You're right
Well,
there.
I think last year was a major improvement because they did get
Yes.
over the bar. It's just that every time they made it to, like, a Sunday or, like, winners, they choked winners, like, so
Yeah.
bad. They
Yeah.
came out flat. But
Yeah.
I, I think when you're playing those top teams, like the Optic, the Thieves, FaZe, Gentlemates now, it's a matter of, like, team chem at that point.
Right.
Like, I think in Major 1, I think we're gonna see upsets in Major 1,
No
mainly
doubt.
because of like how cracked some of these guys are gonna be. Because
Oh, yeah, dude.
Shots is just gonna fly around everywhere, but Shotzi can get away with it because his team has insane teamwork. And
Oh, yeah.
for example, Surge, they have great players, but I think they lack a lot of team chemistry and the teamwork. Like they don't have that veteran like player
Leadership.
that can help push them like, hey guys, we're approaching this wrong. They're all just really good players individually, but they don't work cohesively.
Yeah, and having a player who's, like, got that experience behind them, you
Mhm,
know? Um, I'm sure there's an argument to be made on the other side of, where the inexperience and, like, hunger can pay off, but having someone who's been there, who's level-headed, who knows what it's like to win championships, like, I mean, that's what I feel with Carolina, like, with Slasher there. That's definitely gotta be a help,
mhm,
as compared to having a bunch of people on a team that are maybe new or, like, somewhat veterans, like I guess you could say Nero is in that realm.
mhm,
He's been playing long enough now that he's considered one of those. Um, but you want people who also have, been up at the top multiple times and have won there and understand the pressure and what it takes. Um, so we'll see with some of those teams there in the middle as to where they fall. Again, it was a good week, or a good weekend of matches. I liked seeing all the teams and kind of getting a rough idea of where they stand. Um, the top is definitely figured out. It's just going to be a matter of who's really in the middle and who's going to be maybe challenging some of those teams for a spot on Sunday. And I hope it's Boston. I think if Boston has the best shot of any of those teams that are outside the top four to make a chance, but we'll have to see, bro. We'll have to bring. I was thinking about it. We'll have to bring our masks and show up on the CDL cam. So if
mhm.
you watch us, we'll have the mask. We'll be over there. Come on, cheering them on.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I'm excited to watch comp. Like I'm excited for like rank to come out.
Yeah,
It's good vibes all
get the
around with this
W.
team.
Yeah, thank God, bro.
I know.
Like the start of
Honestly,
this year
thank
with
God.
COD, where we're having podcast episodes and we're not trying to be delusionally
Yeah.
optimistic. We're over here like, dude, we're trying to convince everybody like things are good.
No,
Thank
that
God.
yeah, this game's fun, like, all the pros are having fun, you know, the 3rd game mode people actually like, and
Yeah,
I think with that 3rd game mode, people just didn't give it a chance enough, and now they're like, "Oh, wait, it's actually that good." Like,
right, right.
you gotta try it, you can't just
This is the
write it
COD
off.
community in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah,
Immediate,
yeah,
too
yeah,
quick to judge.
yeah,
But
um, but yeah, I mean, overall good weekend. We got
mhm.
weekend 2 of the CDL coming up,
Yep.
this week when this comes out, so, make sure to watch that and, keep up with it.
Yeah, and again, if you haven't been following the CDL, like this is for sure the year to be doing it. It's been phenomenal so far. Um, and it's definitely a good game to be jumping in on and trying to experience it if you haven't before. So be sure to if you want to be entertained on the conversation. And then again, we said at the beginning of the episode, since we've been putting it there too, be sure to join the Discord since we got a whole channel now that's just dedicated to CDL people. And we have people going back and forth in there talking about the games, which is always fun to see. So yeah, be sure to go and join up and be part of the community if you have not already, because it's taken off and I'm enjoying it. I like seeing people in there. And just like today too, I probably want to start having, questions or stuff that people want to ask at the end related for what they want us to talk about, maybe at the end of the episodes,
Mhm.
just to get a little bit more engagement because it is fun. And I like to hear what people maybe want to know about us or know about the game, knowing about our opinion. Um, there's going to be a lot of CDL stuff that goes on as the year unfolds. And be like, what do you think
Mhm.
about this team? Should this team make a change? And all of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
sudden, we're
yeah.
going to be couch GMs.
Yeah. Well, and especially too if you guys are new to the CDL and you don't really, know how to approach the CDL, like join the Discord because
Yeah.
everybody in there, like, dude, we're just all trying to chill and have fun.
Mhm.
I will not allow anyone to come in and think they're the fucking general manager of any team. That shit ain't
Right.
happening. I'm saying that
Right.
right now. Like,
You don't know what you're talking about.
people are out here saying to drop Dashy like a year ago. Fuck you
Yeah.
guys talking about? You guys
Yeah.
are insane. Um, yeah. So if you want like, I guess like a good space for all of us to just like chill and watch, join the Discord. There is a suggestions channel too. So what you were just talking about, like if you guys have anything that you want to hear from us or like just questions in general, just
Mhm.
go in the Discord, ask it there. And it's just cool to see like when we're not messaging, people are talking
Talking on
still.
there.
Well, yeah, they're just like, go make new friends.
Yeah.
We're all here. We just like COD. Uh yeah, it's a good time. I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So again, like Justin said, be sure to go and join up on it if you haven't already, because we'd like to have more members in there and just help grow it. So that's the goal. And I think that does it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty
You
much.
guys on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe when you're over there.
Always, always on YouTube. And of course, say the whole thing. Anchor.fm/COD Casuals, since we're there on all streaming platforms. You know the deal. Go into the TikTok, Instagram, and be sure to give us a follow over there, and give a like and support, which we always appreciate on all platforms as well. 5 stars over on the Spotify. I think we do have a question that we pose there for every week. So be sure to go and answer and reply to that. The engagement does help. And I think that does it. Yes. We said the YouTube already. But yeah, I think we're good, everybody. So again, thank you so much for listening to this episode number 252 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
We'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
Yeah.